So today I want to talk about 8 things that you can do to get more sales on Shopify and ultimately hit your first 7-figure year. If you don't know me, my name is Jason Carroll. I've been running advertising and marketing campaigns for everything from Fortune 100 to small mom and pop shops for the better part of a decade plus. In that time, have scaled multiple clients' Shopify stores to 8 figures and beyond, and continue to run an agency where we basically take startups and scale them through advertising, creative, and AI. So here are the 8 things you need to think about when you're trying to get more sales on Shopify. Number 1 is fast testing of audiences and ads. So if you're going to scale, ultimately you're going to have to run advertising. And one of the best places, as we know, to do that is Meta, Facebook, Instagram, obviously TikTok, Google. There are other channels as well. We're kind of talking about the social channels. Meta, TikTok would apply to this as well. And so many brands do not run enough ad creative. They create one ad and they throw it up there and they think that magically, because they spend a lot of time making it, that it's just going to work. And of course, it doesn't work that way. You need to be iterating and testing new hooks, new angles, new concepts, all these things until you find a winner. And at various levels of scale, you need more creative that you input into the system so the system can learn and optimize. So at minimum, if you're only spending, a couple $100 a week, you still need 2 or 3 creatives per week that you can then test to get enough impressions, to get enough data to decide whether or not you're going to keep or kill a certain ad. And then beyond that, at scale, you're going up to hundreds and thousands of creatives in any given month. So depending on what your scale is, you have to understand that every single week you need to be iterating and creating new ads all the time. You have to do that. Number 2, influencer marketing with UGC. Everyone's heard of UGC these days, obviously, and it continues to be extraordinarily important. So if you can activate niche micro influencers to help you create UGC content that actually resonates with your target audience and leverage their authentic engagement, this will help boost trusts and conversions. And then of course you can whitelist these creatives and these ads as well and push it out through your creators' Facebook pages, which helps a lot too. Don't sleep on UGC. Number 3, creative production workflow. Going back to iterating and testing on creative, if you don't have a workflow, a process in place, it's going to be very hard, A, to create creative at scale, and B, to understand whether creative actually works and why it works and what you can do to make it better. You need a structured creative process that you and your team can follow so that you can refine and optimize creatives efficiently. Number 4, touched on this already, but creator whitelisting. So using whitelisting agreements with influencers to run ads on their profiles, it'll help reduce CPMs, it'll help increase ad effectiveness and know, like, and trust factors, and will most likely lead to more sales. Number 5, an ad testing framework. Again, when you're running ads, you actually have to have a framework in place to understand and learn how things are working. You need to be testing in a specific framework, allocating budgets for cold, warm, and hot audiences, iterating based on performance, pushing things into other scaling campaigns, and so on, while you learn, while the algorithm learns, and ultimately enabling you to set up for scale. Number 6, lead generation campaigns. A lot of Shopify brands don't focus on lead gen, they focus on just driving and getting the sale right away. But if nobody knows you and has never heard of you, and you're in a marketplace that is overly saturated or not even saturated, the likelihood of them purchasing from you immediately is going to, of course, be lower than if they knew who you were or you built some level of trust with them. It's the whole thing about you don't ask somebody to marry you on the first date, right? So one method to build trust with your audience is to generate lead generation campaigns. Now, this could be something like a quiz funnel, like a lot of brands in e-commerce and elsewhere have done, that provides a little bit of value or gamifies the experience and gets people to input their information. Or it could be an actual lead magnet, some sort of guide, some sort of free product, even anything that you can exchange value for information. So you're providing the value, they're providing the information in their name and email and so on. Then you have them in your email list, and now you can start hitting them with strategic emails and different offers, which ultimately will lead them to convert more likely than if they're just directly coming from a cold ad. Number 7, landing page optimization and testing. Again, you have to be building landing pages that are not your main Shopify product pages. So many brands, they have a home page, they have a product page, they have a category page, they have all these basic pages that they built out in Shopify, and they're running all their traffic to those pages. They're not iterating, they're not testing based on avatars, based on CRO, based on anything, in order to see what's going to work. So whether that's building on an advertorial, a listicle, or just a separate designed product page style landing page using a tool like Gem Pages, Shogun, or others, you have to do that in order to win in e-commerce in 2024 and 2025. So if you want your Shopify store to hit those 7 figures, you got to be building and testing landing pages. And lastly, scaling predictably. So when you're at the point that you've now seen that ads are working, that things are operating efficiently and effectively, you found creative that works, you understand your data, and you know what your metrics are that you need to hit, and so on and so forth, then you can start to dial up the spend, and only then. And you should do that strategically, and you should have a plan in place on how you're going to scale, roughly 20% a day or whatever that number is, and how you're going to continue to allocate some percentage of budget, say 15%, to testing, to warming, creative, to retargeting, to all these different things. So if you can do those 8 things, inevitably it's going to help your Shopify store gain more sales. So if you found this video helpful, obviously like, comment, share, all those good things, and let me know in the comments what I've missed and what you've done to scale your Shopify stores to 7 figures and beyond. Thanks so much. Subscribe to this channel.